I have wanted to tier rank for the longest time, and today is finally the day. Today we are tier ranking the top or most popular romance tropes just to see where we fall on things. I already made a few tiers and I'm already so excited to go through them with y'all. It was so fun making this thing and we just got to get into it, okay? But first we have to talk about these two books that I'm so excited to read. Literally when I got my book of the month box, I was like, it's time, because this book, this is the one I'm most excited about. It's called A Killing Cold and it just came out actually this month, and it's about this girl. She meets this guy, he's super rich, he's handsome, he's like the whole package, right? So they start dating for a while, and then after a while, he's like, you know what? I want you to meet my family. So she goes with him to like one of his family estates or something like that. He's like that rich. She goes there and she's like, wait a second. This stuff is a little familiar, but she's like, no, it's fine. And so she's getting to know his family. There's kind of a weird vibe, but she continues to push through. And then when she's there, she finds a picture of herself as a child. When I read that, I was like, oh, in the cart. Because how insane is that? Like, that's so terrifying. And then so she realizes like, oh, I might be in danger here. And it just follows that like mystery. And I just need a thriller in the cold months. So this is that. Then my last book is The 3 Lives of Kate Kay. Now this is a very interesting read. I've never read something like this, but it's about this author. She's like well known, well renowned. But the thing is, no one actually knows who this author is. Her identity has been completely hidden from the public. And it's because she's had such a chaotic, tumultuous life that she doesn't want her past following her into the future. So she had to go by this like surname, this fake name. And then you just follow that story about like how she got to where she is, where she came from, and how ambition and other people in your life can change who you are. And it just sounds very interesting. It's fiction, but it sounds really good. It almost reminds me of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so I am very excited about this one. So these are the 2 picks that I got from Book of the Month. And if you want to try Book of the Month, I would highly, highly recommend it. Honestly, like they're so cool. They have the best people picking and curating what books that you can select each month. And it's not just authors that we all know and love, but there's also a lot of authors that even me, I'm like, I've never seen that author before. And then you read a book and you're like, oh my God, I love this person. And it's just such a good way to find new books and genres that are maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone, just to get yourself to read more and to be a little bit more inclusive. So I highly recommend it, honestly. And the cherry on top is the fact that if you use the code NEWYOU, your first book is $5. A hardcover new book for $5? Never heard of it. So if you want to take advantage of that, I would highly recommend using the link in the description box. And honestly, thank you so much, Book of the Month, for sponsoring this portion of the video. I genuinely love your service so much, and I hope that you guys take advantage of it as well. All right, back to tier ranking. The top tier is top 2 and not 2. These are my absolute diehard favorite romance tropes. I will literally sell both kidneys to read a book with these tropes in them, and I will die on this hill. Tier number 2 is We Love Her. So these are the books where it's like, it can go really, really well or really, really bad. It just depends on how it's written. Most times I like it, but sometimes it can be a little weird. Then our third one is I'll Allow It. So it's like, it's not like I'm searching for this in books. I'm not really necessarily like obsessed, but it's okay. I can deal with it. And especially if it's written well, then it's like, all right, fine. After that, we have Has to Be Done Perfectly or else it's literal poo water. Now, those are very specific. Those are very specific requirements, but there's a small niche that fits here, okay? Trust me on this. And last but not least, I would rather run into oncoming traffic than read these books. Like, these tropes are absolute no-goes for me. I do not like them, never have, never will, and that's just gonna stay at that. Okay, are you guys ready? So the first one up is Student Teacher. What? We're starting up strong here. Absolutely effing not. I don't like that. I don't know. It gives me a weird feeling. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think I've ever read it where it was done correctly. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that is just a no-go for me. I would rather get hit by a vehicle than read a book with this in it. Next up is Vacation Fling. I mean, it could be good. I think I've read it once or twice where it was like done really well, but it just depends. I don't know, because sometimes it's like insta-lovey and I don't like that. I don't like when it seems like love at first sight, because like love at first sight is very hard to portray in a book without seeming like y'all just rushing to do things. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes with a vacation fling, there's very limited time. There's very hard time to establish like a relationship where you feel like you're invested in the characters and the individuals in the relationship. So it's very hard. I think I'm gonna say Has to Be Done Perfectly or it's literal poo water. See, I told you there's a specific niche for that. This fits perfectly. Okay, next one is In Love with Your Boss. I don't know. I don't go searching for workplace romances, especially this specific type of workplace romance. It seems too cliche, especially like if it's the woman who's in love with the boss. I think it'd be cool if it was like the woman is the boss and the guy's like in love with her. That would be cool. I haven't read that in a book yet. It's always the other way around. So I guess we'll allow it. It's fine, I guess, but it's almost like too cliche for me. I think it's just too obvious. The One Who Got Away. The One Who Got Away. Immediately I think Love in Other Words. So I'm already like kind of in love with this idea, but I haven't read too many of them to have like a sound opinion on them. Actually, give me some book recommendations with this trope, The One Who Got Away, because I can only think of Love in Other Words. If that's the case, I'll say I'll allow it, because I don't love her, like I don't know her like that. So I think I'll allow it is the best one we can do. Okay, small town romance. I love a good small town romance. I know they're cliche and it's like almost always the same formula, but that's kind of with any trope really. I think personally I've read some really good small town romances. There's just something about a small town, everybody knowing your business. It's usually like a grumpy guy who doesn't want anybody, and then you just come into a small town. It's like a big city girl coming to a small town. That's usually the way I've seen it. And then she falls in love with the small town, or he falls in love with the small town, and I don't know, there's something about that I really love, especially when it's a holiday romance. That formula right there, it gives Hallmark, but it's tried and true, and it's cliche because it works. So I'm gonna say we love her. Then we have a royal romance. Royal romance. I don't know. I don't think I've read too many. I think if I can really consider this, I think the only time I've really read like romance where there's like some type of royalty, it's a lot of fantasy books. And that's cool, but I don't go seek her out. Like I'm not seeking out that trope. I think we should have had another tier that's called she's okay. I guess I'll allow it. Yeah, I'll allow it. It's fine. Accidental pregnancy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're not gonna love me because I'm having your baby. No, I hate that in a book. I hate that in real life. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just such a terrible foundation in a book to like have a romance off. I just don't like that. It's always cliche. It's always like, weird. Like, I don't like it. And then that's how you're supposed to like figure each other out after you're committed to each other for 18 years? I think not. I'd rather get hit by a car. Damn. Dark romance. Okay. Y'all know I have not had very good luck with dark romance. I started off my dark romance journey with Haunting Adeline. God help me. That book was criminally bad. So bad. Just cliche, poor writing, not much of a plot. The character was so insufferable. I hated that woman. I hated her so much. The guy was really weird. Wasn't like cute weird, just like weird. The whole thing was awful. And I haven't read a dark romance since, but I feel like it'd be cute to have a stalker. What? Hear me out. I'm a reader. When I'm saying this, I mean in a book, not in real life. I'm just saying, I feel like the premise of a dark romance could be so good. So is my love for this trope premature? Maybe. Have I really found a book that actually shows me that I like this trope? Absolutely not. Is that gonna keep me from putting it in We Love Her? No. Come on, dark romance, we're going in. Next is Best Friend's Ex. Absolutely not. You know what this reminds me of actually? It reminds me of the book Once in December. This is my book club December read. Join our book club if you want to. It's so much fun. I leave the link down below. It's our Patreon. It's literally the best thing ever because we had a ball trashing this book. And it's hilarious because right before I started going through book club with this book, I was reading it on my own and the beginning was so good. I even told y'all in one of the vlogs where I'm like, oh my god, this book is so good. The banter's so cute. She's so funny and like self-deprecating. It's just like perfect. I love this book. I love the idea of this book. And then it quickly became a dumpster fire. It was so bad. Like literally all the characters were so insufferable and she wanted her best friend's man, like from the jump. And like they try to make it in a way where you think like, oh, it's kind of okay. She kind of like blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. It's never a good idea. That breaks girl code every single time. I don't care what anybody says. No, it's always going to be a no for me. I'd rather get hit by a vehicle. Thank you. Wow, I'm getting hit by a lot of cars in this. Okay, next up is romantasy. Okay, we love her. We love a good romantasy. I think I've only read a few ones, but every single time I've read one, it hit. Like the Cruel Prince series, absolutely loved that. It was so good. Like they hated each other, by the way. So there's multiple tropes going on, but that was such a good book. I loved hearing like the world building and all of that other stuff. Another good one is Legendborn. Oh my gosh. I only read the first book. I know it's a trilogy. The third book is actually coming out this year in 2025, but the first book was absolutely incredible. I actually also read that with my book club and I really enjoyed the storyline. I really loved the build up and like her love interest, just so cute. And I'm already about to read the second book, so I'm very excited for that. All in all, we love a good romantasy. I think I want to read more books of this genre in the new year. So she's top 2 and not 2. Our first top 2 and not 2. Because I was like, are we going to get any top like tropes in this? But we finally got one. Okay, celebrity / normal relationship. I don't know. I feel like it's just too much. I read one book written by Abby Jimenez, and it was like the Life is Too Short one. That was my one Abby Jimenez book that I didn't like, and the girl was kind of like celebrity-esque and the guy was a lawyer, a normal person, and I hated that. I actually read another book though. It was The Small Town Romance When in Rome, and I loved that book. She was a celebrity and he was just like a normal person. So I feel like it could work. So I feel like it has to be done perfectly or it's just literal poo water, because those are my two references I have for this. So I feel like I know for a fact it could be good, but I also know for a fact that it could be terrible. So I think this is the perfect category for it. Okay, damsel in distress. I don't really like a damsel in distress that always needs to be saved. I think once in a while in a book where maybe, okay, this is like my favorite. When there's a really strong female character, she's always strong. She's like single mom who works 2 jobs. She's always taking care of things. She's always independent. But one day she finally lets her guard slip and someone's there for her. I like that kind of damsel in distress. If that's what we're talking about, yeah, we love her. We love her. But just a regular generic damsel in distress, it's just too played out. Like Disney did it enough. We get it. You know what I mean? We get it. So I think it has to be done perfectly. Yeah, it has to be done perfectly. Okay, the next one is my favorite. Y'all know this. If you've been here for even a minute, you know this is my absolute favorite trope, enemies to lovers. I love a man who hates me. What is wrong with me? I love a man who hates me.
Oh, you crazy.
Especially in a book, like when you can't stand me, but you can't stand how much you like me. I eat it up every single time. This is a no-brainer for me. This is the easiest choice out of all of them. This is top 2 and not 2. Okay, next is friends to lovers. What do you mean you don't hate me? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you already like me? Ugh, that's gross.
Wow.
I don't know. I think, God, I guess, I don't know. It has to be done well. It has to be done well. For me, I don't know why. That has never been appealing to me. Something's wrong. Something's wrong, but it's never been appealing to me. It's done very well in Funny Story. It's done very well in Love and Other Words. So it can be done very well. I think I'll allow it. It's not like my favorite thing, but sometimes it can be done really, really, really well. Okay, fake dating. I do like this one, actually. I don't know why I'm pretending. I actually really do like this one, but it also has to be done really well, because I've read a few fake dating tropes where I'm just like, ew, please stop. Somebody, please close the curtains. Like, I'm done. But I've read a lot of really good ones. So I don't know. I think we love her though. All in all, we love her. That's a good one. But you know which one we love more? Forced proximity. I love that. Put me in a room with this man. I can't stand him, but we're stuck here. I love that trope. I love that trope so much. That is definitely top 2, not 2. Easy. Wait, no, give me a second. I feel like it should be more like we love her, because I've read a few forced proximities where it's not good. I don't know, but overall it's like an A. It's an A. Like if I had to give it a grade, it's an A. I'm gonna put it in top 2, not 2. What am I thinking? Forced proximity. Second chance romance. I don't like that. What do you mean you couldn't sweep me off my feet the first time? You need a second chance. I know one of my favorite romances, Love and Other Words, is also second chance romance, but generally I do not like that one. So I think we're just gonna put, I'll allow it. I don't know. Love in Other Words has made me different. She's made me more open. Like, I feel like it just has to be done really well. But usually I don't necessarily care for it. So I'll allow it. Yeah. I feel like the best in that category. Who Did This to You? Has me by the throat. Has always had me by the throat. I don't care who says it. I don't care what trope, what relationship we have. Who Did This to You will get me every single time in a book. Every single time. I could hate the entire book, but that one line will have me kicking, giggling, all of it, all the things. So this is easily top 2, not 2. Even reading it makes me blush. Like, oh, you care about me. Oh. Love triangle. Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. I've never once in my life read a good love triangle. Oh my God, they're so insufferable. Please, please get it out of here. Absolutely not. I'd rather get hit by a car. Accidental pregnancy. Oh, we got that twice? Yuck. What was wrong with me? No. Opposites attract. Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I feel like that can be cute. I've read a few of those. Those are nice. Okay, then it's Fated Love or Soulmates. Now, again, this is one I generally don't like because it gives like insta love. I don't like the minute that you're reading a book, they're already like a day in and falling in love with each other, trying to figure out when they're going to move in. Like, ew, slow down. Give me 300 pages at least. Like, I love a slow burn. I actually forgot to put slow burn in here, so we're just gonna make an honorary mention. A slow burn is top 2 and not 2, hands down. I love to army crawl brick by boring brick to at least like a handshake or some, a kiss, a peck on the cheek. I love having to work for the romance. That's why I love K-dramas. Like, I love the suspense, the tension, the inner dialogue. Give me more of that. I love that so much. And I just feel like the insta love, the fated love, the soulmates thing, it just is the opposite of that. And it's like rushing things for no reason. That's not the point of romance. Romance is like, I just can't help my feelings for you. My feelings are so strong for you, but I need to believe it. Like, make me believe in your story. And I feel like you can't do that within immediate pages, like within 100 pages. No, like, you need to make me work for it. I'm okay with reading. Like, I've already picked the longest hobby ever. Let me work for it. I can take 300 pages, you know what I mean? And I just feel like insta love, soulmate things, it gives me the opposite of what I'm looking for. So I feel like that's always gonna be bad. So hit me with your car. I'd rather not. Secret billionaire. It's okay if you're rich. I don't seek this out. Wait, let me explain. I don't seek this out in a book, right? But I've never read a book where somebody had money and it bothered me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's okay if you come from money. It's okay. I can live with it. I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. I'll just have to deal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll allow it. Grumpy sunshine. Okay, grumpy sunshine is like the milder cousin or sibling to enemies to lovers. I'd rather you hate me, but if you're grumpy towards me, I can take that too. I can take that too. As long as there's some like dichotomy, like there's some type of difference in our opinions and our personalities, I can do that. But if we're just always agreeing and stuff, it's like, what the heck is the point? You know what I mean? I feel like that's not a good mentality to have, but listen, we are only talking about books. We're only talking about books, I think. So I'm gonna say we love her. We love a good grumpy sunshine. But if I had to pick though, enemies to lovers, always number one. Always number one. I just feel like every time I read a grumpy sunshine, even though I love her, I just feel like it could have been like, why don't you hate me? Why don't you hate me? Why don't you have like a hate book and it's just my name all over? There's not enough passion for me, I think. Grumpy is fine, but it's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Forbidden love. Forbidden love is interesting because it has the angst that I'm clearly looking for in books, I guess. But it's like, what's the reason? Like, why are we forbidden? I think I'll allow it. I don't think I've read too many books where they've genuinely had forbidden love. Like maybe their families clash or maybe they're from different worlds and they're not allowed to. Oh my God, that's not true. Legendborn was like that. And so was Fourth Wing. And I liked both of those. I don't know. Maybe we love her. I think we love her. Yeah, I think we love her. Yeah. Okay. My bad, Joe. Love at first sight. We ain't even gonna give her the time of day. Y'all already know how I feel about that. It's giving the fated love soulmates thing. Love at first sight. No. No, because if they take it slow, this has the opportunity to be good. Sorry. Hear me out. This has the opportunity to be good, because what if they have love at first sight, but then something happens and maybe they hate each other, but they still have that initial emotion? I think this one can be done perfectly and then it's really good, or it's just literal poo water. So we're actually going to move this up. Yeah, I think that's a better choice. I feel better about that. Sibling's best friend. It's okay, but it's just such a niche thing. Like, out of everyone in the world, you gotta like my brother's best friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very niche thing that I feel like I see a lot in books, actually. For whatever reason, that's like a fetish or a thing. But I think it can be okay. I think it's fine. I think I'll allow it. I have no like positive feeling towards it, but I also don't hate it. I think it's fine. If it's done well, it's fine. So we'll allow it. The neighbor. I do like a good neighbor. I do. I think that can be cute, especially if like y'all hate each other. I don't know. I was trying to pretend like that's not what I was gonna say, but okay, like obviously I have a type, but I think we love her. Yeah, that's cute. Marriage of convenience. I like this one too. I think I like some type of strain. I like to feel like you don't necessarily want this all the way.
Stop it. Get some help.
This sounds so crazy. I'm doing a lot of self-reflection right now. But hear me out. I like when there's a lot of tension, some type of reason why they're clashing, why their romance can't just be smooth. You know what I mean? Outside of just personal issues, I like some type of push and pull. So I think that's why things like this is good. So I think we're going to say we love her. I think we love her. Workplace romance. I don't go out of my way to read a workplace romance, but I don't dislike her. Like, I think that's cute. I think that can be a cool thing too. It really just depends on the author, and it depends on like the path they go on, like what kind of angle is it, you know what I mean? I think it can be done really, really well, but I've also never read a bad one, so I don't feel like it's easily broken or like easily messed up in some way. So I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Is it I'll allow it though, or we love her? I don't know. Do we love her? Like, love is a strong word. Love her? And I can see the appeal. Like, you guys are in this confined space, you met this person at your job, so it's like, even if you have some ups and downs with them, you're forced to hang out with them or be in their vicinity because you guys work in this place. There's this middle ground. So I like the formula of that type of romance. But do we love her? Do we love her? I feel like there should have been an in-between tier between we love her, I'll allow it. Because it's not like I'll just allow it. I think it's closer to love. I think we're gonna put workplace. No. I can't with my chest say we love her, because it's not true. I don't love workplace romance. I like workplace romance, but I don't love her. I think what we should do is we should put her in we love her, but with a little asterisk in it, because y'all know it's not necessarily true. I think that's our best bet. Rivals to lovers. Rivals to lovers is very close to like the grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers thing too. But I feel like with rivalry to romance, I've only seen that in workplace romances. I don't think I've ever seen it outside of that. Maybe they're in a different team or something in a romantasy. I feel like with this, I think we love her. I don't think it's top 2 not to, because I don't seek this out actively, but I do like the energy of a rivals to lovers. I like the fact that like they're vying for the same thing, or they don't want the other person to get whatever, and that adds to their emotion towards each other. I do like that a lot, but I don't necessarily like actively seek that out. And I feel like we should keep the top tier for the ones that I have my heart set on. Like, I look for these things in a romance book, and that's just not necessarily true for this one. Then we have One Night to Forever. So this is basically like a one night stand somehow turns into them dating seriously, and obviously turns into like that being their person. I don't think I've ever seen this done well in a book. I don't think so. It's just always like, because when you start off with something that intimate so quickly, especially in a romance book, I just don't feel like there's a lot of room for it to grow or be anything else. Sometimes there is, and I've seen it where it's like okay, but I've never seen it to where I'm like in love. So I'm not saying it's not possible, it's just not something I've ever seen done well, and it's not something I necessarily like. So we're just gonna put her in has to be done perfectly, or it's poo water. I think that's the best bet for that one. Childhood sweethearts. This is giving like friends to lovers energy, and again, it's not my favorite thing, But I think in real life though, if I can be honest, I think I really like that idea in real life. Like the fact that you saw your person and maybe you guys grew up together, or you grew apart, came back together, grew apart, came back together. I think that's very cool to see that person blossom into a real person in real life. I think that's really beautiful. But in a book, like what's the conflict? You know, like there has to be some type of plot, there has to be some type of issue. And I don't know if I've ever seen that done well in a book. So it has potential, but it's not necessarily a sold, like gonna be good book every single time. So I think we're gonna put it in, has to be done perfectly. Okay. Reformed playboy. So this is someone who's like been a player their whole life or whatever, and then he finally meets the girl that changes everything for him. I think I love this. I do. I like being like the person that's changed you. I can change him. It gives that energy. It gives main character. And maybe I have main character syndrome, or I look for that type of syndrome in a book, but I think that's very cute. Where something about you is different, where he usually like does one thing, but you force him to do another. I think that's really beautiful in a romance book. So we're gonna say we love her. As cliche as it is, we love her. The one bed trope. This is my bread and butter, especially if the character development is good. You've been working towards this for a long time. That's like the best version of this trope. That's the best of it. When they've been working for a long time towards this, they were trying to push it away, push their feelings away. It wasn't working out, and they're still trying to ignore their feelings. But this situation has forced them to face it head on. Chef's kiss. Literally one of my favorite things in a book. The first time I see something about one bed, it's over. Especially if the book has been good all the way up until that point. Yes, give me more, please. I'm an immediate fan of this author. I will immediately read more from them. It's a no-brainer for me. So this is easily taught to and not to. Love this. Age gap. Age gap is our last one. And I have a lot of feelings about this one. I don't know. I feel like with age gap, it's very like thin ice. It can be really, really good or really very cringy, very gross, and not good at all. First of all, it depends on a few things. How big is this age gap? Is it like 20 plus years? If that's the case, I don't know. Because really, we have a lifetime apart. What are we really connecting on? Really? Especially if the girl is younger and the guy is older, like, what are we really connecting on here? What can we possibly talk about? I don't know. 20 years is a long time. 20 plus is always like, gives me the ick a little bit in books. But if it's smaller than that, I think it can be cute. I think it can be nice. I think usually when I see it, it's around like 5 to 10 years, which I like. I think that's good. When I like this trope, that's usually where it's at. But anything past that, I don't know. It would have to be really good. So I think because this is so in between, I think it has to be done perfectly or it's just not good. So that's where we're going to put that. This was so much fun. I learned a lot about myself and my reading habits from this. I'm genuinely surprised by a few of these. Let me know if you would have changed any of the placements of these, if I should have added different tiers, if we should tier rank other things. Tier rank other things. Let me know, because I've really had a lot of fun with this, and I do feel like I forgot some tropes, so that's annoying. But let me know again in the comments below what your thoughts were. That's it for me. I love y'all so much. This was a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys in the next video.